Welcome to F&W Game Club's continuing E3 coverage. This is the first conference. It's EA's conference. Technically, it's not E3, but we all know it's supposed to be E3. They're having their cake and eating it too. We're covering all the conferences all week, plus more. This is the beginning. It was probably better than I expected, Chris. I mean,
Yeah, absolutely.
It's EA, so you're gonna Electronic Arts, so you're gonna get Madden, you're gonna get FIFA, you're gonna get NBA Live. These are not games I'm interested in. I'm not really the sports games guy, and I was expecting a lot of that. You too, Chris. But what they did show, other than those things, was pretty good, right? I was pretty excited to watch, to sort of watch along. I'll tell you what I could have used less of, Chris. Less drum corps and far fewer YouTubers.
Yeah.
I was getting pretty annoyed with the YouTubers. Find it pretty funny that EA will invite all the main press over just to throw them out for the YouTubers live for everybody to see. So let's jump onto this. Their first big thing was Battlefield. You can fast forward us to around 7:18, Chris, I believe. We're going to be watching this video as we go and talking about what we saw. Oh, go past this. This is the YouTubers. This is the YouTubers on Battlefield, so it's going to be past this. I can tell you exactly where it is. It's at 11 minutes, Chris.
Well, just Battlefield 1, which we've all been playing for, like a year now?
Yeah, but everybody loves it, right? They happen to mention that there's about 20 million players right now. I wonder if that's really 20 million people or just 20 million accounts. Because a lot of people have multiple accounts. At 11 minutes, they start showing off footage of DLC they're releasing. They're going to bring out a DLC package called In the Name of the Czar. It's going to add 6 maps from the eastern side of the war. You notice that the levels seem to be like night levels. A lot of them were pretty dark. Chris, do you remember
It looked like they had 2 night levels, which they're bringing back. That was a lot of fun in Battlefield 4. That night ops mode.
So out of all the F&W Game Club people, Chris, you are definitely the most Battlefield friendly. Like, you like playing Battlefield.
Except one. I didn't buy one, actually. I played the demo for, 24 hours or a weekend or whatever. But I didn't buy that one. But I did have played 3 and 4 for hours and hours.
Okay, so then my question about one then is, did this DLC then maybe talk you into buying it?
Yeah, I'm actually thinking about picking it up now.
Me too. I didn't even care at all about Battlefield for a long time, but something about going back to the East with the footage. That footage was short. That's the way it's gonna be. But that talked me into actually buying Battlefield
and free.
Yeah, and free. Yeah. Problem is though, I'm not gonna spend $60 on Battlefield 1, honestly. So.
I bet you could get it on discount now.
Yeah, you think?
Yeah,
you think $30?
Nah, maybe not that far.
Okay, well,
like 45-ish, probably. I'm good at guessing.
Something I noticed a lot early on with the EA press conference is they're really trying to push their sports games, Madden, FIFA, all of those, as esports games.
Yeah.
Like, EA wants to have its own league, yeah, an EA league of EA sports games. First of all, smart idea given the culture we're in right now with video games.
It worked so well for the American Football League.
I hated this part with all the pictures because they're trying to show how intense esports is, but
everybody's just
guys in chairs and yelling. I mean, that's the worst one right there. So hardcore. Look how hardcore that guy is. Oh, so bad. Let's skip ahead.
It's not exactly a Gatorade poster, is it?
Yeah. So we're not going to cover the Madden and FIFA and NBA stuff because we're just not the right people to cover that. But I'll tell you what we can cover for a minute. Need for Speed. Why don't you skip us ahead to 2240, Chris? This is where they started showing stuff for Need for Speed Payback. Actually, go to 2445. Excuse me, Chris. 2445. That previous was one the YouTuber totally messed up the beginning. But so here's where they start showing. They're trying to say this is gameplay, and some of it looked like gameplay, but a lot of it looked pre-rendered. So questionable video here. Kind of a mixture of both, probably. It seems like Need for Speed Payback is trying to be Fast and the Furious, the video game. Kind of bro action with...
Wasn't Need for Speed kind of always like that?
Yeah, I guess so, but I think you missed this part, Chris. Like this becomes like a high octane action movie scene right here, where he gets up behind a semi truck of some kind. That happens.
But they've been doing that for a while, and
yeah, that I expected. But when he gets up, there's some stuff that happens with the semi truck in a moment here, which I think is going the next level with action. So he's gonna catch up here. And then this is when the whole thing falls apart. This is when the actual mission really starts. So smacks into him, and then it causes all of this destruction. And then watch, you gotta kind of drive past all of the wrecked cars, and it's leading up to a moment where I think somehow he's gonna get something from the car onto the semi truck, and she's got to get inside the semi truck, and it's become a Fast and the Furious movie. I mean, it was always an action game, but that doesn't seem like it's going the next level with the action, wouldn't you say, Chris?
A little bit.
Really? Am I overreacting here?
Well, have you played the last couple Need for Speeds?
No, I haven't. I mean, I've always kept up with the series. I've always paid attention to see if I want to jump back in.
Yeah, they've been going more this direction for a long time.
Okay, so this is nothing new.
Not really.
Just better graphics.
Just maybe a little bit more.
Yeah. So they're taking it from 10 to 11.
Yeah. I don't think we need a crash scene for every crash. It really slows down your fast-paced game.
Well, there's no way that you could actually do that because it would throw off your driving.
Yeah, it would be constantly in and out of. This might just be for this.
It's a hype video.
Yeah.
Right. That's what I was saying. It seemed like it was a mixture of actual gameplay with pre-rendered ideas.
Yeah, because it's really slowing down every single time.
Yeah. And it gets really right here. It's like, is this really what's gonna happen?
Yeah, you never. Yeah. Well, if this is all in campaign, maybe.
Okay, that's true. There you go.
Yeah, this is probably all campaign.
Yeah, and then there's this. This is the scene I was talking about where this truck's about to flip out or literally flip over, and then boom, here comes the car. You know what happens in real life? She just dies in an auto accident. That's what really happens. But you see, they're trying to show that you've gone right into gameplay there.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, I don't know, it's weird. So do you think you'll play this Need for Speed game?
Oh, probably.
Yeah? Okay, then you can tell us if I should play it.
I love ridiculous driving games.
Okay.
I love driving ridiculous too. So.
Okay, that's true. Your cars have been in a lot of accidents. Yeah. Not always your fault. Okay, let's skip ahead here. Let's go to this game at 2940. Actually, why don't you skip to 3354? 3354. It's the same game. And this is a game called A Way Out. It's an all-new intellectual property IP game made by the people who made A Tale of Two Brothers. Obviously, in terms of scope, this is way bigger than A Tale of Two Brothers. Did you ever play A Tale of Two Brothers, Chris?
No, I didn't.
So, Tale of Two Brothers was a game in which it was a twin stick game, but each stick was a brother, and it was two, and they were kind of it was isometric view.
It's an interesting idea,
right? And it was kind of a puzzle game, and you were trying to get medicine or something to save your father, and it was a very indie feeling game, and they've gone from that very indie feeling game to this very large scale game that you're seeing here called A Way Out. And this is a great idea. This sold me, Chris, I have to tell you.
The mandatory co-op?
Yeah, so it's a mandatory co-op game, and what's happening is you play split screen, but this is a little bit like they tried to say this was an original idea, but honestly, Kane and Lynch did this a little bit.
Yeah.
In which it's split screen, and you're both playing at the same time, but you're doing different things, and some things from one person's perspective will be like a cutscene, but the other person can actually be playing live in the game, even seeing what's going on in the cutscene from a distance, and you're playing. Basically, it's two different stories, two different narratives happening persistently at the same time, with some decision making and some different ways of doing things. And how it starts is you're both prisoners. You're in a prison. You want to escape the prison. Not entirely sure how they got into prison or why they want to escape, other than I don't know what you could assume. But then you end up getting out, and then it goes into the rural countryside, as you see here. And there's apparently a very in-depth narrative. And if honestly, at first I was thinking, when I first started seeing this, I was like, man, this is just a Telltale game. We got another Telltale game. And I'm starting to kind of get sick of them, even the good ones. But after watching the full trailer, it's not a Telltale game. This is I mean, I don't think it's going to be a full-on third-person action game by any means, but it does seem like it's providing like a really new idea. Why don't you rewind that back to 33, 45 or 54, 33, 54. It comes out in early 2018. Did you catch any of this when we were watching it, Chris?
Yeah.
What did you think? Because you are very skeptical of the Telltale game type play.
I just
how
don't
did
like.
this rub you?
Right. I just don't like not actually controlling the character.
Yeah. You know, I mean, you have good reason.
And so this is coming out next year, early next year.
Early 2018.
Yeah.
Which who knows what that really spring probably.
And so I'm hoping before then we get to see a little bit more. It's definitely interesting looking.
Right.
But depending on how much control you actually have will probably determine whether or not I play it.
Yeah, well, if this is something where you actually have a lot of third-person control, I think it's awesome. If it turns out it's mostly just pressing the right buttons when they prompt you.
Watching the story.
Yeah, that's not going to be great. And I have a feeling, here's my fear. Everything I saw, I love. And if I was basing this purely on what I saw, I'd be very excited.
Right.
But the last game they made was a very small indie game. And to go and to upscale. If this is really a third-person action game, like we're talking like Uncharted, like gameplay, but with like this co-op addition, that seems like too much of a scale-up, which makes me suspicious that it will be mostly button presses.
Well, it's cautiously optimistic, right?
Yeah, cautiously optimistic. That's true. That's a good way of going about it. Let's move on, Chris. There's a bunch of stuff I didn't care about. There is some Scorpio. Let's check out, just for the sake of it, go to 38 minutes flat. There is like 2 images given of Madden, and it's supposed to be what it looks like on Scorpio. And they're saying tomorrow at Microsoft we're going to see a lot more Scorpio.
Right, so basically EA confirmed Scorpio.
Yeah, before Microsoft could. So they're saying this is what it looks like. Kind of hard to see much of a difference because Madden always looks pretty sharp. But... You know, the lighting looks nice. There is some nice detail. Again, sports games always look pretty good. So I would have liked to have seen this in a different kind of genre. See these teasers, you know, for Mass Effect 4, maybe. But I can always hope. Chris. And then they teased a game at 39:18. They teased a game called Anthem. And again, they said, look out for more. At the Microsoft press conference tomorrow, Sunday. And Chris, your guess was this might be Dylan.
Yes.
So anybody wondering, there's been a long rumored game that's being made by BioWare. It's supposed to be a sci-fi game, and it was under a code name, Dylan. You know, that's obviously not going to be its real title. This game right here that they teased, they said it's being made by BioWare. It's definitely sci-fi. It's dystopian, it looks like. Some kind of post-apocalyptic dystopian sci-fi.
Yeah. It looks a little like Destiny, doesn't it?
It looks like Destiny a lot to me, in fact. You know what I would hate, Chris? I would hate if this was the real Mass Effect 4 that lost the Mass Effect title. Wouldn't that be the worst?
Yeah.
Like if this has all the story we want. That's supposed to be Shepard.
Well, I mean, if it's good, it's good.
Yeah, but I want Shepard, Chris. Damn it, I want my Shepard.
Shepard Commander.
So we'll look out for more of that tomorrow at the Microsoft press conference. The rest of this press conference, at least the rest that mattered to me, was Battlefront 2. Chris, why don't you skip to go to 53? I kind of missed the marker on this one. Go to 53, see if that lands us in the video. You know what? Don't even do that. Go right to the multiplayer. That's at 1 minute or 1 hour flat. 1 hour flat. So what you're seeing here is they did a live demo of 20 on 20 multiplayer, which, by the way, the previous game was 16 on 16, so a little bit of upgrade there. Right?
Let me double check that.
It might have been 8 on 8, Chris, because I remember it not being that big. You can double check that as I go over some of the details. So they said that this is an essential story, so I don't know if that means it's canon or if they weren't allowed to use the word canon. They said it's an essential story for Star Wars. It takes place between the campaign, of course. And it takes place between Return of the Jedi and Force Awakens. It stars this new character, the lady wearing black. I can't remember the character's name now. But so during the press conference, they sort of showed the tweet that was put out by John Boyega, where he asked EA if there's going to be like a substantial single player campaign for the next Star Wars game, and they owned up to that criticism pretty well with a smile, and they said, yeah, we're gonna have a campaign. They showed a trailer for the campaign of the next of Battlefront, and it looked pretty good, but it was just mostly pre-rendered quick trailer kind of thing. What you're seeing here is the multiplayer that's actually being played by real players. They had announcers trying to explain everything. It was kind of a mess, right? But that's what happens when you try something bold live. Sometimes things just go wrong. You can't blame them for that. The game itself, the graphics look pretty sweet. I mean, look at this. That's a pretty nice rendered city, all rendered right there. Guy just exploded against the tower. Did you get a word
20
on that?
by 20, available on PC in the first game.
Oh, really? It
Yeah.
was 20 by 20.
But
I
only
thought
on
it was
PC.
Only on PC. So it was probably for the PS4. It's a little bit less. Is
8,
what it was.
8 versus 8.
Ah, there you go. Which they didn't say anything about the PS4 versus the PC versions on this, so it'll probably be similar. What
Yeah,
do
but
you
in
think?
Battlefield 4, we had 32 versus 32. which
Oh,
was
Battlefield guys. Okay.
Yeah,
Just saying over
Just,
here.
well, just saying that the people who made this game made one where we had 64 players.
Yeah.
So I don't know why we're moving backwards.
I think it's because they're putting such an emphasis on these really sleek graphics.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, Battlefield obviously has beautiful graphics, but the sleekness of Battlefront graphics is pretty interesting, right? It's sharp, really sharp,
It is very sharp.
plasticky sometimes though.
A little cartoony, right?
Yeah, I was laughing every time we see one of the
Kind of looks like Overwatch.
one
I
of the
think.
droids. It looks like a puppeteer is holding up a droid and he's kind of hopping around. They took the criticism from the last game that there was just not enough content for a $60 purchase, it seems like, at least out of the box, I know they added more later. And so they kept on pressing during this press conference that there's 3 times more content this time around. Just more content. And not only more content, but Chris, how much is it going to cost?
Free, right?
Free for all the added stuff. So when they add heroes, when they add maps, when they add all these things, it's not a season pass. It is free with the $60
But
purchase.
can we stop with the over-the-shoulder shooters?
No, Chris. I mean, this is Gears of War winning the war right now.
I would have bought Ghost Recon Wildlands if it was first person.
This is a post-Halo world. It's all about over-the-shoulder now, Chris. Sorry, Chris.
Witcher's the only acceptable over-the-shoulder.
That's true. They said all 3 eras of Star Wars will be in this game. So they mean the prequel trilogies, the classic trilogy, and of course the new one, the era that's in the new movies now. I guess new movie, because really only Star Wars 7 was in that new era. Star Wars 8 is just around the corner, though. That comes out so this is probably going to coincide with the release of Star Wars 8. It's probably going to sell 20 million copies. It's going to be a big deal. Question, Chris. What will sell more, Battlefront 2 or Call of Duty World War II?
Ooh, good question. That'll be quite the battle to see.
I think it's going to be Battlefront 2. I'm calling it.
I bet it will, because it does have Star Wars tied to it.
Yeah, and Disney knows what they're doing. They made a big deal about the class system. Now, Chris, can you explain to me why they're making a big deal out of a class system being in this game?
Because in all the Battlefield games, the class system is very important.
Okay.
And then in Battlefront, it really wasn't.
Okay.
And that was one of the things I think a lot of Battlefield players liked. It opens up more options for gameplay, for how you play the game. You don't just have to be really good at shooting.
Okay.
You can actually be a useful team member doing other support roles.
Yeah, I think they were trying to convince the hardcore shooter base to come back, because they talked about we're redoing all the weapons and there's going to be skill gap.
Yeah.
So explain that to me.
Battlefront was a very, what's a nice way to put it? User-friendly? New person friendly?
Yeah, for anybody can jump in.
Casual friendly?
It's one of those games you can jump in and feel like you're a good player.
Yeah. And there wasn't much of a skill gap. It didn't matter that you'd played a bunch or that somebody else hadn't played at all. Anybody could get a power-up and become, Darth Vader or whatever.
Right.
Because all the power-ups are just coins lying around the map.
Yeah.
You didn't earn them.
They also, you notice how Darth Maul was clearly the best character in this.
I bet he gets nerfed before release.
Yeah, he probably will. I mean, they definitely got to make Rey better than him, right?
Yeah.
Because that's the thing right now. Rey has to be better than everyone.
At everything.
Well, that's Star Wars 7. If I was going to explain it with one line, it's that Rey is better than everyone. She's better than Kylo Ren, who had trained his whole life. Better than John Boyega. Better at flying the Millennium Falcon than the guy that flew it for decades. Just better than everyone.
And repairing it too.
Yeah. She's just better.
Yeah.
Just better. Okay. Well, look, I think we covered things pretty well. Anything you wanted to add about the Star Wars Battlefront 2 that I missed?
No. I'm just looking forward to the demo.
Yeah, looking forward to the demo. So, let's think about this conference. First of all, what was best?
Well, this whole thing of using YouTubers could be really good for you, but you'd have to pick a less offensive screen name than your current one.
So what's best? What do you think? What did impress you most?
I don't really know. It's EA, right? And we're all a little. Everybody.
We're not sure if we're over their past yet.
Everybody's got kind of some bitterness towards EA, and so I'm not trying not to fall into that trap too much because some of the stuff does look pretty good, and I'm looking forward to seeing it and getting our hands on it.
Okay, my favorite thing, my best for this conference was A Way Out, the co-op adventure narrative game. Again, I'm hoping that it turns out to be. That there's a lot of player, what's the word I'm looking for? Agency, right?
Yeah.
That it's not just like button prompts. Had to cough, sorry. So I think, but if it turns out to be what they promised, I think that is a very surprisingly unique game from a company like EA. So that's definitely my best. What was your cringeworthy, Chris?
Any of the hosts.
Yeah.
Just the whole idea. It's
Jesse the YouTuber.
Just show the games. Just show the games.
Yeah, I don't know how they don't understand that. All we want is just like say, hey,
they had that whole drum line
Star
out there
Wars.
At the beginning, and it's like, no, just show the games.
Yeah, just say, hey, here's Star Wars, and then show a video of Star Wars. And then say, hey, here's a game called A Way Out, and then show us the game A Way Out. Like, you don't need to impress us with getting a bunch of pseudo-celebrities in a room to try to convince us that they like the game, which I know they don't even play it, right? Or when they do, they play it because they were paid to play it.
I'm just here because I'm getting paid.
Exactly. So, that's definitely the cringeworthy for sure. And overall review, how would you just review this as a conference overall?
On a scale of 1 to 10?
Yeah, let's do that. 1 to 10.
I give it about a 7. I'd say like no disasters, but it could have been smoother.
Well, I can't call you Curmudgeon Chris anymore. I mean, you're positive Pete over here. I was going to give it more like a 6.
Like nothing caught on fire, so.
Nothing caught on fire.
They had no cuss words slip through or anything, so I mean, there were no big disasters.
Right. I was going to give it a 6. I just think that...
I thought 7 out of 10 is like a C, right? So.
Yeah, I think the emphasis on trying to convince us that YouTubers are into everything EA is doing was
calling out the other YouTubers.
It was just too much. No, I mean, look, we're YouTubers obviously, but like I don't want to see me in a conference here. I want to see the games.
Yeah.
And
it's kind of pandering, right?
Yeah, they spend more time convincing us that people like these games
Look,
than just
kids,
showing us the games.
We're hip. We're with it. We have the YouTubers with us.
Yeah, right. It definitely felt like old white dudes trying to appeal to the hip YouTuber base, right?
Yeah.
So, 7 from you, a 6 from me. Look, we're going to be continuing to cover E3 a little bit more today, a lot tomorrow, a ton on Monday, some more on Tuesday. It's going to be a big few days. We're going to have a lot of videos out. If you liked our coverage here, please like and subscribe. Look out for everything we're going to be doing. It's going to be all about E3 the next 4 days, and you have a wonderful day yourself.